All right, guys, we are 11 away from 100 subs. We would appreciate it if you watch these videos and you enjoy these videos and you're not subscribed to our channel. We would really love to hit our target of 100 subs by the end of the month. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. And yeah, on to the clip from the Ketchup, which is now exclusive on Spotify. So if you want to see the full episode of this clip from the Ketchup, head on over to Spotify. Link will be in the description. Let's get on with it. Now let's move on to transfers. This is another pressing topic because we started off great. You know what I mean? We really completed Diego Leon even before this season, before last season even wrapped up. We're just waiting for the season to conclude for him to become an official United player. We're spoken about Mateus Cunha, coming into the fold, which has been great. And now we're looking to close that Brian Mbeumo deal. We thought that's going to be the next thing that was going to be sorted out so we can move on to other transfers that we need to get into this club. So that is sort of delayed. It's sort of in the pending, it's sort of in the, the twilight zone. And now we're trying to figure out, cool, if we're not going to get to Nzembi, we need to now still focus on other players that we need to bring into United because we can't just wait for this thing to happen. We need to keep it moving. We need to keep the players coming in while we're still trying to sort out this situation. And we also know that a lot of the delay is because we're not getting rid of these 5 players that need to leave, because that's where we're going to be getting the money from to facilitate these other moves that we're trying to make. So it's like it's a double-sided conundrum where we're actively trying to get these players while trying to get rid of these players to bring in these players, right? So yeah, man, what's the latest? What is the latest on the players that we're now linked to, aside from Mbeumo? Or do you want to just catch us up on the Mbeumo situation before we move on to the others?
So with the Mbeumo situation, that one, it looks like it might still take some time, but it is meant focus. Unfortunately, there is not going to be any other movement or any other signing until we do Brian Mbeumo.
Yeah,
Like, there's not going to be, unfortunately.
yeah,
Um, the frustrating thing about the situation is that Brentford want what we paid for Cunha, 62.5,
yeah,
fixed, you know, and then we can work on the other stuff. They want that. They want guaranteed, but Manchester United is busy dilly-dally. And that's
yeah,
the thing now that's frustrating a lot of the fans. Because first, okay, in the beginning I understood because it's transfers. It's a dance. You
yeah,
know, you bid, gets rejected, you increase your bid, whatever. I thought that was the thing. But then I realized that nobody's doing that anymore. Everybody is just paying the money, getting their player, and moving on to the next thing. We are
yeah,
still stuck in this old era where we want to do this dance. Now, apparently, there's a big gap in valuation. That's why Brian Mbeumo is not at Manchester. They're
yeah,
working on the deal. But United are busy giving these guys peanuts, and these guys are on the verge of closing that deal. They're on the
yeah.
verge of saying, you know what, you guys are taking a piss. They'll focus on the other stuff, and we will soon be restricted from getting Brian Mbeumo if we don't move in fast.
I hear
If
you.
we don't do that, it's gonna cause a chain reaction of panic reactions, like panic. Because we don't
Yeah,
get Mbeumo, we're gonna start doing stupid things in the transfer market. And that is my frustration. And that is what is happening with United right now. They just need to give they want at least 55 million fixed. Imagine. And
yeah,
then we can talk about the add-ons.
yeah,
You know?
yeah,
Hey, but United is business. You imagine Brian Mbeumo, the amount of goals that he scored last season. In fact, what he did, then you want to start off the bid at 47, like take a piss at Brentford. Like, he, why?
yeah,
Everybody else, Kudus has gone to Tottenham. Wow, Morgan Gibbs White.
yeah,
Liverpool spent stupid money, silly money on Isaac. And
yeah,
we are busy like wasting time on a couple of millions. Now, my question to them is like, Bruno to Saudi Arabia now is looking quite tantalizing because that money, that bloody money, that 120 or that breaking of the transfer market for Bruno Fernandes would have settled us very quickly.
Yeah.
It would have. Because they're not saying that they're broke, but they've told us that they're broke. They told us long time. Right now, us getting frustrated is us forgetting that they told us that they're broke. So, what do we do?
So, all right. There's a very important question I want to bring up, just based off the response that you gave me. But first, I want to
Yeah.
address this, yeah, because this is the latest that we're getting from Fabrizio, and it's basically
Mm.
saying Brentford are showing interest in Omari Hutchinson as a possible replacement for Brian Mbuemo in case of what you call this, in case of the exit, what you call this, of Brian Mbuemo, right? So
Yeah.
they've really got someone who they want to bring in for Brian Mbuemo, which I take it as a good sign. All right, they've really found a replacement. So I'm seeing at this point in this whole saga, they're ready to now offload what you call this Brian and Bremen because I've really what you call this seen that target and everything like that. Now it brings me back to you saying that if we have loaded Bruno, it would have sorted out all these problems. So here are two things I'm seeing with this statement that you brought up, right? The first one is okay, cool. We got rid of Bruno for 200. It was 200 that he was valued at, right? We get rid of him for 200. Was it? I
No,
think
it
it
was
was
a.
200.
They said that they wanted to break the British transfer market record, which
Okay.
is 100.
120. Okay. So let's just say they got him for 120, whatever, right? If Bruno left Manchester United, right, because he's like United's key core player. And we know that a lot of players that go to certain clubs are also influenced by the type of team that they're going into, right? So when players were signing for Barcelona, they knew they want to be playing alongside Messi, for Real Madrid, Ronaldo, you sort of get the drift of what I'm going with. If we lost our core player at Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes, do you think that Mateus Cunha and Brian Bremo would have still had that interest to come to United? Because remember, it's not about we're trying to alleviate this thing of bringing in a player to be like you're the one who's going to solve all the problems at Manchester United, but instead having this team of superpowers, like our core, that spine that we always just talk about of like core players in the team, that can carry not necessarily carry the load, but you know what I mean. Like they're the main guys in the team that will make this thing work. So do you think if Bruno left, they would have still had the motivation to come, knowing that
Absolutely.
damn, their superstar has left? The pressure's gonna be on
Unfortunately,
my shoulders. And if they get me, what if they don't get anyone else? Now I'm the one who is sort of like filling in that Bruno void. And this is Manchester United. We always talk about the pressures of Manchester United. Do you think they would have still had that thing of okay, I'm gonna come and be that Bruno replacement, or do you think it was safer to have Bruno because now when we have Brian Mbeumo coming in and Mateus Cunha already in the club, they are more comfortable because they're like we got Bruno. You understand what I mean? And then we're just the addition that are gonna form this like stronghold in the team.
I, for one, believe that these guys came to Manchester for Manchester. If you listen to Cunha's interviews, if you listen to him speak, he's talking about United. He's talking about, you see, when he got the number 10, what he said. He's
Yeah.
like, I can't believe these guys gave me the number 10. Do you know who I'm looking? Who? Who?
Yeah.
Now, Brian Mbuemo, him choosing Manchester United out of everybody else is another sign that he wants Manchester United for what it is. I don't think Bruno would have changed. In fact, that would have given them more, it would have given them the sense of responsibility. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But the beauty of our two signings, and I said this in the beginning when we got them, is that the good thing is that these guys want us regardless. But we were 15th.
Yeah.
Who wants to come to a team that is languishing 15th? Who? With no prospects of looking like you're going to get better. You have been like, they, there is no reason for Brian Mbuemo and Mateus Cunha to choose us. There's absolutely no. There's Chelsea, there's Arsenal, there's Liverpool, there's Man City, there's Newcastle, there's Villa. All those teams are looking set to actually go and fight it out or duke it out there. And they chose us. So for me, that was a big statement. Now, your question, it kind of led me somewhere because it was a little bit technical. You mentioned like if they came in and if we sold Bruno, how they felt. In fact, now this Bruno situation is, well, I think we're going to keep talking about it for a long time
Mm,
because of Bruno's position. I think during the season, when we see Bruno where he's like he doesn't have a position in that squad, he's just playing everywhere. It's gonna frustrate people. It's gonna be like, why? Because now Bruno, as it stands, is going to be in that midfield too with Ugarte or Casemiro or somebody else. That's how it looks. Because there's no way they're buying Cunha and Mbuemo to put Bruno there to duke it out with them. I don't see that happening. That
yeah,
doesn't make any sense. You see? So I'm looking at that and I'm just like, okay, so Bruno is going to be our midfielder. Now, I love Bruno, you know.
yeah,
But when I look at the bigger picture, I've stopped holding on to players. I've stopped. I've looked at the way every other club is moving on players. It is ridiculous. We are holding on to players. Yes, I understand. I don't know where this mentality is coming from. Maybe it's an old school thing, or maybe I don't get it. But we struggle with offloading players. We get a player, we it doesn't work out, we keep him. He runs his contract, or somebody will come and buy him for peanuts. Other teams, they cash in. Look at Noni Madueke, Arsenal. You my drift.
yeah. I get you.
United where we are still holding on to players. Now, I'm not saying that Bruno Fernandes is not a good player, but we had an opportunity to invest in the team. We had an opportunity. And we were also back. I'm assuming they were banking on winning the Europa final, which was, come on.
Mm,
And we failed. So we failed to sell Bruno. Now we are in this predicament. Now, who do we look at? Ineos, the Glazers? Yes, we're looking at them because you guys are the people who are in charge. Make the decisions. You were we gonna get hurt that Bruno is open to our club? We're going to get in another midfielder, someone who's nice, Richard Rios, who is a midfielder from Brazil, who is perfect for what we need. Is bruh, Richard Rios is perfect for us. 25 million sitting in Brazil there. No, other teams are moving in, checking what's going on. United is quiet. 25M.
yeah,
Like I've got no words, bro. I really have got no words.
yeah. Nah, I hear you. I hear you, man.
But we've made our bed. Now we
Yeah,
lay in it.
yeah,
I'm still supporting Bruno because he's my skipper. You know the crazy thing is the other day I was watching something. I got emotional. It was playing some emotional music,
yeah,
and I was sitting there and I'm thinking about Bruno. Like I want my captain to win. I want my captain to like it was weird. So that's where I'm at. But
yeah,
am
yeah,
I
yeah.
like I'm not happy that we kept him and missed out on the money that could have solved the issues that that are happening right now.
Yeah.
That's
Nah,
mm,
nah, I hear you. I hear you. All right, no, that's the Mbwemu, situation, and of course the other players that we're looking
yeah.
to bring into the fold, have been reported to be linked with Estupinan from
What
Brighton.
I want you to take the floor on this because Estupinan has been a fantasy favorite for us, you and I.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I want to know what your thoughts are on this deal.
This is the funny thing because, like you said, like he featured in our fantasy sides. Budget player. Brighton. I've been having a really good record at home and stuff like that. He gets points. He assists. He scores goals every now and then. He's a very good fantasy player to have. But the question is, if you were Manchester United, would you actually be looking into bringing Estupina? All right. Now, man, it's difficult for me to really say if this is going to be a good move for United or not, only based on the defense that we brought in last season. You understand what I mean? So I'm not saying we shouldn't still go and look out for defenders, but I mean we literally brought in Mazarawi, we brought in what you call this
Yes.
Delict, we brought in Lenny Euro, we brought in Dogu, we brought in Aiden Heaven. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So in my personal opinion, I think we're cool with our current defense at the moment. Harry Maguire has stepped up. You know what I mean? He stepped up so well that I literally do not know who to start between him and Delete. You know what I mean? I'm looking at the two. I'm like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm literally seeing them at the same level. And I know a lot of you guys are going to argue with me in the comments, and it's fine. Let's go at it. But with this, a stupid
You're giving a statement based on last season. So I
yeah,
support that statement. If they
yeah.
want to argue, we can go into it because
We'll
it's
go toe
another
to
topic
toe.
for another day. But you are
Exactly.
right.
100%. So for me, as Stupinan, though you'll be a good player to have, I just don't think he should be priority. And look, based off the fact that he's a starting player at Brighton, I don't think he'll be a starting player at United. So I think we're just going to be inviting problems, at Manchester United. Once players come to Manchester United and they get the taste of the wealth and you know what I mean, the and start mingling with the wrong people, then
It's
it's
well,
going to be
yeah.
disastrous for us. You understand what I'm saying? So with the Stupinan one, it'll be good to have him, but I say keep him. You know what I mean? Brighton, keep him. Sell him to AC Milan if you want to. But right now,
And
I'm
how
just
old
not.
is a stupid man? Isn't he 30 or what?
I
Is it,
think
what
so.
is his
Like,
age?
how old is the Stupinan?
Is
But
he
yeah,
20,
27-year
29,
old, 27,
27?
27.
He's,
So
he's-
yeah, I don't know. I don't know because again, if we get him, who are we dropping?
and you know what, D? We have got so many left footed defenders.
Exactly.
So, Leon,
Yeah,
fucking the Butchers there,
dude.
Luke Shaw, Friedrichs, like we've got Kukonki, we've got so
You
many
understand
left
what
footed.
that left back position is packed to the rafters. So if we're bringing in a Stupinan, it means um Amarin has a role for him. You understand what I mean? It means that someone in that left position is definitely getting dropped next season if we're gonna bring in a Stupinan. That's the only way I'm seeing it. But like I said, would I get him? No, I wouldn't get him. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
just think it's surplus requirements, and we need to be focusing our energy elsewhere. That's just my thoughts about it.
I agree. I agree. Let's channel the money somewhere where it is needed. It's not
Exactly.
needed left sided back or flank. Nah, we've got too many there.
Yeah,
Too
yeah,
many.
yeah.
And we want to see what is left. We still need to get rid of Malasia, who's there. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
nah, too much.
Nah, it is, man. Another one that's also come up, Tolisso,
Mm-hmm.
30-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
In case you guys don't know him, French footballer. These are his stats from last season: 32 games, 7 goals, 4 assists, 4 yellow cards. Now, here's another
He's a,
one where
def-
I'm huh? Sorry.
he's a defensive midfielder, no?
Yes, he's a central midfielder.
Central
Now,
midfielder.
yeah, central midfielder. So he's another one again where I'm a bit confused. Like I don't know if this is just ESPN, just linking players anyhow. You know what I'm saying? To Manchester United, or are Manchester United seriously interested in getting him? And if we are, like, where is his value? Because again, like you keep on pressing on about Ineos and the rules they set about the type of profile player that they want to bring in. Dude is 30 years old. You know what I mean? When you look at the number of assists or creativity that he has, is eh,
It's not good.
it's not good. It's not good enough. You understand? So who are they trying to replace by bringing him in, right? And what frustrates me more about this story is we have Kobe Mainu, who hasn't yet been given a new contract, who is a very young player, very talented player, a player that we should not even be looking to get rid of. What's happening over there? Why are we entertaining signings like this when we're not even getting our own house together? Like with our current, talent that's in the pool. Like I don't know about you guys, but the Kobe Manu one it stresses me. Every single day when I wake up, I'm expecting to hear some sort of news coming out of Manchester United that we have given him a new contract, 5 years, 120,000. That's what I'm waiting to hear. You understand what I mean, Ben? But instead, we're getting links like this about this 30-year-old footballer, and I'm like, okay, who is he supposed? Is this supposed to be the alternative if we don't get Brian and Buemu? You, you
You know,
understand what I
this,
mean?
this, this story is so bullshit. It's so annoying
Yeah,
because you look at us already. We already have a 30-year-old that we are waiting for his contract to finish.
yeah,
Now you want to add another 30-year-old who is going to hold the, like, for what?
yeah,
For what? Why are you going back against everything? You look at that PSG team. You look at everybody else. That the age is trimming. They
yeah,
just leave the goats, the likes of, the big people that can handle it. But everybody else is changing. Why would you want to go for Tolisso?
yeah.
This situation for Tolisso, for me, I think it is just to generate conversation. Remember, Lyon, they are going through their thing, the relegation, and they're about to go back down, and there are two owners. The owner owns them and freaking Crystal Palace. And there's this whole thing about Europa and the Conference League, and there's all that bullshit. So I'm sitting here thinking to myself, this story is just one of those stories that these guys are trying to generate. Because, like you said, D, Kobe Menu is there. And I believe that Kobe Menu is staying. I believe that he's going to get his contract. Why it is taking long, don't know. But when they do announce it, they're going to make it look like a new signing.
Of course.
So
Ah,
this midfield situation, I'm not too stressed about it.
yeah,
But yeah, yeah. For
yeah,
me, I'm stressed about the strike.
yeah.
I'm stressed.
Here's one you spoke about earlier, Nicholas Jackson. All right, Chelsea got him for 32 million from Villarreal. Right, hit 30 goals, 12 assists in 81 appearances ever since he joined the club. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Nicholas Jackson joined Chelsea around the same time
It's
Rasmus
Russell Boy.
Hoyland joined
Yeah.
United. It's a shame that I don't have the stats, to
For
compare
us.
exactly for reference. But on the assists, I can almost guarantee that Nicholas Jackson has definitely got more assists than Rasmus Hoyland. I don't even need to
Even the
check.
goal.
In
Even
terms
the
of
goal.
goals, I'm really not sure by how much the margin is because
Mind you,
he did hit double figures the first season he came.
Rasmus Hoyland.
Rasmus Hoyland in all competitions, right? Because
Uh,
this is in all competitions for Chelsea for Nicholas Jackson. It
uh,
should be, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah. So I would say, look, I'm not trying to say that they're comparable. Nicholas Jackson, 100% has been doing more for Chelsea than what Rasmus Hoyland has done for us, right? And we need a striker. Like we've been addressing the midfield situation, but we haven't really addressed the striker situation ever since the whole. Because remember, we're linked with with William Delap, and then we're linked with Victor Osimhen, and then all of that just fell through. And then there's been no stories out about strikers, and now all of a sudden, Jackson is in the picture. Still young, 24 years old. What you say?
I say go and get him. And I know people are tired of taking Chelsea's rejects, but do you see what I mean when I say we hold on to players?
Yeah,
Because I was sitting here and I was deep in this thing, and I'm like, you know what? Chelsea are God's gift to the Premier League because they are on a mission to dominate.
yeah,
And in that quest to dominate, they are going to do whatever it takes, whether it is buying a player. If that player doesn't fit in, they'll sell him. Like moving. They've been moving like that. And I fucking like it
yeah,
in the sense that there are opportunities like this for Nicholas Jackson. Now, I know people are not going to agree because Nicholas Jackson is not palatable to a lot of people. But
yeah,
when Chelsea signed him for Villarreal, it just happens that at that time I was watching Villarreal in a sense that I was watching the La Liga. And
yeah.
when I was watching Nicholas Jackson play, I sat there and asked myself, who the fuck is this?
Mm,
This guy, do you know who he resembles in the terms of the way of his play?
okay.
Mateus. Yeah. These guys are runners with ball. It's not very easy to do that. Now,
Yeah,
this is all preference. This is all preference. Some people can choose Rasmus Hoyland. Some people can choose Zexi. I choose Nicholas Jackson because he's strong.
Yeah.
He doesn't give up on his fight. The things that Rasmus Hoyland has been showing me, I've not seen in Jackson. And that
Yeah.
for me is a plus side because, in as much as he might not score, the job that he will do off the ball and not like, doing it will be better than what Rasmus Hoyland does.